to the Technical Staff and Theatre Workers podcast. It's the podcast in which I talk to people who work backstage in the technical theatre industry about how they got in, their experiences, and any advice they can give to anyone getting in. This is episode 7 of season 3. A big thank you to everyone who's downloaded the show, everyone who's listening to the show. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everyone you know who's interested in theatre and those who aren't interested in theatre, because it might make them interested in theatre. Yes, thank you so much for all the downloads. It's been really good so far, so really enjoying it. And without further ado, let's get on to our next guest. I'm here with my guest at this time. If you'd like to introduce yourself and tell me what your current job title is.
My name is Josie Griffiths, and my current job title is a dresser.
A dresser?
Yeah.
On the Book of Mormon?
Yeah, on Book of Mormon.
There you go. How did you get into theatre?
It's quite a long time ago, actually. Do you remember the series Heroes?
I do.
It was in like 2006 or something.
Yeah.
So they did that, and obviously it was... The first season was incredible, and then it kind of went downhill.
Yeah.
But afterwards, they did this episode called Heroes Unmasked.
Right.
So I must have been about 12 at the time, and there was this woman on there, and they would do like behind the scenes of this show.
Right.
And there was a designer on there and a set dresser. So she would talk about how she dresses sets, and like when she dresses cupboards and stuff, she puts things inside the cupboards even if they're not going to be opened. And I just found it great making stuff look like a living room,
like it was real.
Yeah, like it was real when it wasn't. So it was just, I just got back like behind the scenes stuff I used to watch all the time, and like the things on films when they show you behind the scenes and special effects.
So you're more interested in how they did things.
Yeah, that's it. How, like, because I've mainly done other bits in theatre, not just in wardrobe doing dressing.
Right.
But yeah, that's kind of how I got into that side of things.
Excellent. So what got you into theatre?
Just in general, yeah. My mother used to take us to watch like ballet when we were kids and all sorts of shows and panto. So yeah, my family's really creative, so we've always been in to watch theatre.
Excellent. Did you train at all?
Yes, I went to... well, first of all, I went to University of South Wales in Treforest, and I did a foundation course. So I did a bit of everything. But the avenue I went down was 3D design. And I kind of specialised in model making and props.
Right.
And then after that, I took a year out. I was working at Domino's at the time. And it was awful. And then I went to uni. I tried to get into like the Royal Welsh like constantly.
Right.
And they just weren't having any of it. So I give in and ended up going to Nottingham Trent.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, you know Rock City, don't you?
I know Rock City. Yeah, I used to work at Rock City, yeah.
So I went to Nottingham Trent and did design for, stage. And that's from there. And then I worked at loads of, as you do, free jobs for exposure.
Yeah.
And then I've just kept grafting since then.
Awesome. A quick question. Being Welsh, you went to Welsh College, and then you were trying to get into a Welsh university. Was there ever any... Was it always just I want to go to Welsh College and Welsh University until you found out you couldn't, and then you went to...
No, the only reason I wanted to go to the Royal Welsh is because it's one of the best in the UK for theatre design.
Right, okay.
So I tried and tried and tried. I got into like Cardiff and stuff, but to be honest with you, I really wanted to go far away.
Right.
So I tried the best one first in the UK, and it just happened to be in Wales. And then, I tried for 2 years, didn't have any luck, so I was like, fine, I'll go to the furthest one away, which I could got
into,
Nottingham. Which was Nottingham.
Which is a great city.
Yeah, I loved it. Absolutely loved Nottingham.
Love Nottingham. Excellent. What was your first job? Let's say first job. Let's go first with, what was your first paid job?
Ever.
Obviously not Domino's.
I was going to say it's Domino's.
What was your first paid job in the industry or in the creative arts, let's say?
I worked for... This was alongside uni. I worked for Rocket Scenery in Nottingham, freelance, like alongside uni for 3 years.
Right.
Just doing refurbs, working on loads of different touring shows.
Cool.
So yeah, I worked there for a long time, and then I got like little jobs off that with Nottingham Playhouse.
Well, the Playhouse is really good because it's a rep theatre, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
it's brilliant.
It's constantly changing and changing.
So I worked there a bit as well. But yeah, my first one I'd say was Rocket Scenery.
Right, okay. So, would you class that as your first job in theatre?
I wouldn't, because...
What was your first job in theatre then?
So it was in my last year of uni. I worked with this small company called Television Workshop in Nottingham.
Right.
And it's kind of an after-school thing for kids and children of different ages. And they have a good alumni of people that are in things like Skins and other like British TV shows. So I worked with them on costume and set design. And they give me like a little bit of money. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I put my heart and soul into that. And it was really good. I did Leo Tolstoy's The Power of Darkness with them. And then the following year, they asked me back for Wendy and Peter, but I was just doing props because they already had someone in for costume and stuff. And then I've done like little stuff for them just to help them out since then.
Awesome. Excellent. So, being on a side, not a side note, but sideways, being from Wales, when you came to London, when did you first come to London to work?
This job actually.
Was it this job?
Yeah, I was in Windsor before you, but yeah.
Right. Okay.
This job brought me to London.
Excellent. So, being from Wales, which is obviously another country, have you ever also going into sort of the TV design as well as theatre design and what have you ever come across any issues? Have you found anybody's held you back or anything like that?
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
All my honestly, since the beginning of time, I've said I wanted to go into like the arts and creative industry. My mother and father, not a problem, because my dad's a master carpenter. He's brilliant. And my mother was an art and design teacher.
Right. So you were bound to do that kind of thing, weren't you?
I was bound to do it. And like I always used to go to work with my dad and my mum and just do like random carpentry things. And like we'd lay floors. It was so random, but anything hands on. And then after like watching shows and behind the scenes stuff, I went down that route. And I it's what I always wanted to do. Nothing else. But I had a lot of people. As I got, like when you kind of have those jobs as you're trying to make ends meet before you try and get to the job you want to be in. It was those kinds of jobs where it was constantly like, well, you're not going to leave here, so like, what's the point?
Oh, right.
Why are you going to uni?
People think that a go-between job is going to be your main job because it's their main job.
Exactly, and the worst one was I was working in Nottingham in Warhammer, and
I used to go to that Warhammer.
Did you? The one on Friars Lane?
Yeah,
that's what I used to work. So I was there. I was working there for a while. And I had this boss, and he was a lovely man. Such a nice man. And I remember him saying to me, because I was kind of diagnosed with epilepsy at this time. And he was like, oh, well, that's your idea of working in theatre gone, isn't it? And I was like, what?
Why?
Why? And obviously it's not. And I'm someone that really tries to prove a point, if that makes sense.
Right, okay,
so if anyone's like, you're not going to do that, I'm like, watch me.
Yeah, if someone tells you you can't do it, you know.
I absolutely will.
That's it.
And like people say to me, oh, maybe you should like try something else. And I'm like, not because I'm bad at theatre, just, I think it's common knowledge that it's not really particularly paid particularly well as opposed to normal jobs. A lot of people, and trying to live in London as well, so a lot of people be like, oh, why didn't you? And I'm like, no, I love this industry. I can't just leave it.
As long as you keep working hard, you'll get there. And excellent. What would you say are the pros and cons of the industry?
Oh, okay. Oh, I got loads of pros, like personal pros. I think for me, I never feel like I'm working, and I think everyone says that. They're always like, I wish I could have a job, but I don't feel, and I really don't feel like I'm working. You get to meet a lot of people, which is lovely. I like talking to people, meeting new people. It's very social, which is nice.
Yeah.
You obviously, and if you love something and you get to work on it, like it's the best of both worlds, really. And like I've actually learnt so many different jobs within a theatre from just being in a theatre.
Yeah.
Like I've had technical, jobs. I've had scenic, costume. I've done a bit of everything, and I love that. Like changing things up. It's one of my favourite things, and it's so transferable. I don't care what anybody says. Like, if I need to like hem my trousers or paint a mural, I can absolutely do that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But also, like, going back to the meeting different people, you meet so many people from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
You meet people who have different interests, but you are all kind of tied into
You're tied into this like mad.
Yeah,
like,
and it is mad, like a madhouse. Yeah, it's a circus. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, excellent. What would you say is a common misconception of somebody who's trying to get into the industry? So if somebody's trying to get into the industry, they think it's like this, but it's not.
Okay. I don't really know. I think when I was trying to get into the theatre, the main thing I got told again and again and again is, it's very hard. It's very hard to get into theatre.
Yes.
Or it's very hard to make a job out of theatre.
Yeah, it's who you know.
You don't. To me, even if it is, you shouldn't really say that. I don't think to anyone that's trying to get in. You should be encouraging, and I don't know, because some people, like I don't need encouragement. Like I said, I prove a point. That's how I get by. But some people, they may take that as an instant shot or a defeat. But I don't really know about misconceptions.
I think it is a difficult industry to get into.
It is,
but it's one of those that once you're in it, you can go quite far very quickly.
Easy, yeah.
So, and it's an industry that rewards hard work. So if you just work hard and you keep pestering and you keep going, then I think you'll get into it quite easily, because people will notice that.
And like if you want to learn something within that theatre, like say you're like obviously one of the cast here is been shadowing the wigs because you know what I mean. So
because she's interested in that.
Yeah, so it's stuff you can do, and like this possibilities are kind of endless, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, I think once you get the foot in the door, it's fine. It is hard, but I've really got any misconceptions before I started. I was just stubborn and determined to get in.
Oh, well, that's a good thing then. Be stubborn. So what advice would you give to somebody who's trying to get in? Other than be stubborn and determined.
Yeah, like nice stubborn and nice determined.
Not pushy.
I just think like the way I see things is if you get turned down for something, like I've been turned down for many of jobs, shows within theatre. And even though sometimes I'm like, I know I can do this job, or sometimes when you feel like, why have I not got? Don't take it as a loss at all. Use it as kind of like an energy, and like just see it as it's not my time or it's not my show. It's a sign, but just keep the passion, because I feel like anyone in this industry, you do it for the passion.
Yeah.
You do it for the enjoyment.
You do it because you love it.
For the fun. And as long as you keep that, and like sometimes you're on a show and like you're on your second matinee day or like your 9-show week and you are exhausted, but it's still about keeping that fun, the enjoyment, being really friendly. I would highly recommend.
Yes.
And, like not keeping yourself, kind of excluding yourself or being rude. I think it's all about being friendly, happy, and
but not fake friendly.
Yeah, genuine. Be genuine. Absolutely not fake, because people can see through that, especially
very
people in the
quickly.
industry. Do you know what I mean? People can see it,
especially people who spend their life pretending to be somebody else.
Exactly. So, but just be genuine, be nice, and just keep being passionate. That's highly I recommend. And if you can learn more skills or you're interested in that, 100% do it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And that's everything I've got for you.
Oh,
so
amazing.
Thank you very much for joining me.
That was lovely.
Thank you. A big thank you to Josie there. I enjoyed that one. Interesting to hear how certain people take different jobs, even if it's not in the field they particularly want to be in, just to get into the industry. It's quite a good way. It's a good industry like that. You can get in a different field and then work your way to where you want to be. So, yes, always keep plugging away is a really good piece of advice from Josie there. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to this. Thank you so much for downloading it. It's been really great, really loving it so far, and long may it continue. Thank you to all the guests that have been on, and I shall see you all next week.